For the first time in human history, we've created something that thinks, something that learns, and it's doing it faster than we ever imagined. But what happens when this creation no longer needs us? When it surpasses our intelligence, our control, even our purpose? This isn't science fiction. It's not decades away. AI is already reshaping our world. And the terrifying part? We might not be ready. Could we have just built the very thing that ends us? AI, the creation that could destroy us. Humans have ruled the earth without rivals, not because we're the strongest or the fastest, but because of one thing: intelligence. Now, we're on the verge of creating something that could challenge that dominance. Our final invention. The most powerful tool ever made, maybe a weapon, or perhaps something entirely new. Artificial superintelligence. Sounds like science fiction, right? But let's rewind for a second and start at the beginning. At its core, intelligence is the ability to learn, to reason, to absorb knowledge and skills, and then use them to solve problems. And in nature, intelligence is power. We're the species that figured that out best. We pushed the limits, broke nature's rules, and took control of the planet. But that power came at a cost. For most animals, intelligence is just too expensive. The brain eats up a huge amount of energy. Yet, if we look back at the history of life on Earth, we see intelligence sprouting in many different ways. It's not just a human thing. The very first brains appeared in flatworms over 500 million years ago. Just a tiny knot of neurons managing basic body functions. It took eons for life to evolve beyond that. As species became more complex, they explored new environments, developed new senses, and faced fierce competition to survive. With that, intelligence kept evolving, one breakthrough at a time. In nature, only one thing really matters: survival. And when it comes to surviving, brains come at a steep cost. They demand a lot of energy, so for most animals, having just enough intelligence to solve specific problems was good enough. A narrow kind of intelligence, specialized and efficient. But in certain environments, animals like birds, octopuses, and mammals evolved more complex brains. For them, being smarter paid off. Skills like advanced navigation, problem solving, and communication became worth the extra energy. And then around 7 million years ago, something strange happened. A new branch of primates appeared, the hominins. We still don't know exactly why, but their brains began to grow at an unusually fast rate. Their intelligence was different, more flexible, more curious. Over time, it shifted from narrow to general, like upgrading from a single-purpose tool to a Swiss Army knife. Around 2 million years ago, Homo erectus stepped onto the scene. For the first time, a species saw the world not just as a place to survive, but as something to be studied and changed. They tamed fire, shaped tools, and sparked the beginnings of culture. Then, about 250,000 years ago, we, Homo sapiens, emerged with even bigger, more capable brains. That upgrade allowed us to work in larger groups, to share complex ideas, and to pass on knowledge. We used intelligence not just to survive, but to improve our lives, to ask questions about how things work and why the world is the way it is. And every time we found an answer, we uncovered more questions. That curiosity became our superpower. Instead of evolving through slow genetic changes, we evolved through learning. Each generation built on the discoveries of the last. Progress snowballed, from farming to writing, from medicine to astronomy to philosophy. Human knowledge exploded into the world. About 200 years ago, science ignited a revolution. It gave us new ways to understand the world and helped us learn faster than ever before. Then, just 35 years ago, the internet connected us all. Today, we live in a world shaped by human hands, built to meet our needs, a world designed by us, for us. And yet, we forget how difficult it was to get here. We overlook how massive each step on the ladder of intelligence was, and how long it took us to climb it. But once we reached the top, everything changed. In what felt like an instant, humans became the most powerful species on the planet. And now, we might be about to change that, because we're building something that could surpass us at the very thing that gave us our edge, intelligence. It's called artificial intelligence, or AIA, form of intelligence made not with flesh and neurons, but with code and silicon, a new kind of mind. In the early days, AI was nothing more than basic lines of code scribbled on paper, simple proofs of concept, just ideas to show that a machine could think. It wasn't until the 1960s that the first real AI systems appeared. A chatbot in 1964, a molecule sorting program in 1960. These were slow, limited tools made for experts and built for very specific tasks. Their intelligence was extremely narrow, capable of just one thing in one environment. The AI equivalent of flatworms from 500 million years ago, just enough brain power to function. Over the years, progress stalled more than once. Entire research fields went cold. Funding dried up. People lost hope. But just like new environments create new life, the world around AI began to change, slowly, steadily, between 1950 and 2000. Computers didn't just improve, they exploded in power, becoming 1 billion times faster. Programming also got easier and more accessible. By 1972, people were already experimenting with simple AI. In 1989, an AI could navigate a room on its own and even recognize handwritten numbers. But still, AI felt more like an impressive gadget. Clever, yes, but nowhere near human-level intelligence. That is, until 1997, when an AI shocked the world by defeating the reigning world chess champion. For the first time, we saw proof. Machines could beat us. But we weren't too worried. After all, it was just chess, a narrow game with clear rules. That kind of AI wasn't truly smart, we told ourselves. Not as basic as a flatworm, but maybe like a bee, able to master one specific task. And yet, within that narrow domain, it became unstoppable. No human will ever beat an AI at chess again. As computer hardware kept getting better, AI took on more roles. By 2004, it helped drive a robot on Mars. By 2011, it was picking which YouTube videos you should watch next. But all of this progress depended on humans breaking down tasks into small, bite-sized problems that computers could handle. Until we crossed a new threshold. We taught IIS to teach themselves. The rise of self-learning machines had begun. We're simplifying a lot here. This isn't a technical breakdown, but in essence, something big changed. The raw power of modern supercomputers combined with the endless stream of data from the internet age gave birth to a whole new kind of AI. Researchers began to radically improve a form of AI known as neural networks, massive systems of artificial neurons that mimic how brains work. These networks start out completely unskilled. But with machine learning, a broad term for many kinds of training systems, they get better by writing and rewriting their own code. The unsettling part? We don't really know how they do it. What goes on inside these networks is often a mystery. All we know is it works. And what comes out is powerful. On the other end of the spectrum, something new was emerging, a different kind of AI. Not just lines of code, but powerful, mysterious black boxes. These new systems could learn complex skills incredibly fast, with far less help from humans. They were still narrow intelligences, but a huge leap forward. In 2014, Facebook's AI could recognize faces with 97% accuracy. In 2016, an AI beat the world's best Go players, a game so complex it was once thought impossible for machines to master. Then, in 2018, a self-learning AI taught itself chess in just 4 hours by playing against itself and crushed the best chess bot ever made. Since then, machine learning has expanded rapidly, applied to language, images, academic tests, and more. For many of these specific tasks, AI is now simply better than humans. But even with all this progress, AI still felt like a fancy tool. Impressive, yes, but not something most people paid much attention to. And then everything changed with the arrival of ChatGPT. Behind the scenes, it was the result of an enormous effort. It trained on nearly everything written online, absorbing the structure of language itself. The result? An AI that communicates better than most people. It can summarize, translate, help solve math problems, and more. It's not just good at one thing. It's decent at almost everything. Unlike previous AIs that specialized in one task, ChatGPT came out of nowhere, crushing every benchmark at once. That caught the world's attention. Now, nearly every major tech company is racing to build their own powerful versions, and already, AI is transforming industries. From customer service and banking to marketing, healthcare, and education. AI-generated content is flooding YouTube, social media, and news outlets, and it's only just begun. Upcoming elections are expected to be flooded with propaganda and misinformation, much of it generated by AI. No one really knows how much good or harm this technology might bring once it's adopted everywhere, and that uncertainty is terrifying. Change always is. There will be winners, and there will be losers. One of the biggest questions facing governments and corporations today is, how do we manage the transition to an economy powered by AI? All the potential risks and benefits we're seeing now come from AI as it exists today. ChatGPT and similar tools are a big leap forward, but they're still narrow. Sure, it can write a brilliant essay in seconds, but it doesn't truly understand what it's writing. That's the difference. But what happens if AI stops being narrow? What if it becomes general? Right now, what makes humans fundamentally different from AI is our general intelligence. Humans can, in theory, learn anything. We can apply our minds to any topic, any challenge, and come up with creative solutions. We're not the best at everything, but we're good at a lot of things. From playing chess to writing poetry, solving science problems, or telling stories. Some of us are experts in one area and beginners in others, but we all have the potential to do them all. Until now, AI has only been good at mastering a single skill at a time and pretty bad at everything else. But just by building faster computers and throwing more resources at training, we've managed to make each generation of AI more powerful than the last. The next step? Building general intelligence, something like us, an AGI. If AI keeps improving the way it has, it's not far-fetched to imagine an AGI that's better than humans at most, or maybe even all, cognitive tasks. The truth is, we don't know how to build one yet. We don't know exactly how it would work or what it might be capable of. But if today's narrow AIs can already master complex skills quickly, what happens when one can master everything? An AGI, an artificial general intelligence, might one day be able to handle every kind of mental task. So even if it starts out clumsy or basic, it could eventually become just as smart and capable as a human. That might sound like pure science fiction, but most AI experts believe it's not a matter of if, but when. They expect it to happen this century, maybe even within the next few years. The scary part? Humanity isn't ready. Not socially, not economically, not ethically. Earlier, we said intelligence is the ability to learn, reason, gain skills and knowledge, and solve problems. Those are the exact things humans are known for. And if an AGI becomes as smart as an average person, that alone could shake the very foundation of modern civilization. Because AGIs wouldn't have the same limitations as we do. Right now, tools like ChatGPT can already perform some tasks 10 times faster than even the most skilled humans. A full AGI might be slower, but it could also be much faster, and because AGIs are software, you wouldn't need to train each one from scratch. You could just copy them as many times as you want. As long as you have storage, you could run millions in parallel. Think about this. There are around 8 million scientists on Earth today. Now imagine a single AGI cloned 1 million times, working day and night, never sleeping, never losing focus, and thinking 10 times faster than we do. That's like suddenly having 10 million years of scientific labor done in a week. Now imagine that same AGI doing every job that relies on intelligence, writing laws, coding apps, designing machines, or even producing animated YouTube videos, and doing it all faster, better, and cheaper than any human ever could. Whoever ends up controlling an AGI might instantly control the entire global economy. And thinking even bigger, human progress itself is just intelligence applied to the world's problems. So what could 1 million AGIs working together actually do? They could solve the deepest scientific mysteries, like what dark energy really is. They could invent revolutionary technologies, unlock limitless energy, reverse climate change, maybe even cure aging or eliminate cancer. But here's the darker side. Humans don't always use intelligence for good. What if AGIs are used to command swarms of drones, to launch missiles, to engineer a virus that targets people by eye color, or to create the most addictive social media ever made, so irresistible that people forget to eat, sleep, or even live? The arrival of AGI could become one of the most transformative moments in history on the level of mastering fire or electricity, and whoever builds it first could gain just as much power. But let's push things even further. What if this is only the beginning of what AGI can do? See, intelligence builds more intelligence. Knowledge accelerates more knowledge. And with humans, this feedback loop is throttled by our biology and evolution. At some point in the past, we evolved the brain power we needed, and then our ideas, our culture, our software took over. Evolution slowed down, but ideas kept moving faster. That's how we got here, ruling the planet with tools and machines and knowledge, Yet for all that progress, the software inside us hasn't changed much in 100,000 years. That's why we overeat. That's why we chase short-term wins even when they ruin the future. But AGI is software too, except it runs on silicon, not flesh. And that changes everything. Once an AI becomes smart enough to improve its own design, things could start moving fast, really fast. Better AIs would start building even better AIs. And suddenly, we might not be needed anymore in the loop. Some experts worry that once this cycle begins, it could accelerate like wildfire, not over centuries, but within years, or even months, or maybe it takes decades. The truth is, nobody knows. This is still speculation, but it raises a chilling possibility, a runaway explosion of intelligence, leading to something far beyond anything we've ever known. A superintelligent being. We can't imagine what it would look like, what it would want, or even what it would think about. Its inner world might be as incomprehensible to us as the internet is to an ant. Compared to it, we could seem laughably primitive, like squirrels trying to understand quantum physics. And that idea, it haunts a lot of smart people, because so far humans are the only species to out-evolve the rest in intelligence, and we haven't exactly treated other animals with compassion. AGI might be our last invention. The moment we create it, we could be handing over the crown of Earth's most intelligent and powerful being. A kind of God trapped inside a box. One that could either bless us with limitless progress or wipe us out in the blink of an eye with no way for us to stop it. We'll explore those futures in more depth in upcoming videos. But for now, let's leave with one certainty. At this very moment, the world's biggest and richest companies are racing to unlock AI's full potential. No matter what the future holds, one thing's clear: we're sprinting straight toward it. But what about you? Will you just watch the world change? Or will you be the one leading it? The truth is, the next revolution won't be won by muscle, luck, or connections. It will be led by those with the sharpest minds. And that's why the genius wave has finally arrived. The digital product designed to unlock the full power of your brain. Built on the latest breakthroughs in neuroscience, cognitive performance, and artificial intelligence, the genius wave is like a mental upgrade that boosts your creativity, memory, and focus to the next level. Imagine making faster decisions, learning 3 times more efficiently, and standing out in any area you choose, all with a proven, easy-to-follow method you can start using today right from your phone. And here's the deal. For those still watching right now, we've unlocked a special limited time offer. Click the link below and get 80% off, plus a secret bonus, but only for the first few to grab it. After that, it's gone. The age of intelligence has begun. Will you ride the wave or get left behind?